preachers in Michigan. And it was an abolitionist college, and it was a freedom-loving college. If you look at our logo, it's got that old building on it, and that's our oldest building. The rest of the campus is built to look in harmony with that old building. And that building was dedicated on the 4th of July in 1853. And of course, there was trouble in the land, and it almost destroyed the college. It was young and it was little, and there came a time in 1861 when the faculty had a meeting about whether we would be able to continue with the college, which was, now 16 years old and still a building, because all of the boys had gone to fight the Civil War. And there were 150 of them at the Battle of Gettysburg. 3 of them won the Congressional Medal of Honor. They lost 2/3 of their number on the first day. And on the second day, they were in the peach orchard. And I want to mention what brought them there. Because then as now, we have enormous numbers of students go into the military today. And then as now, we didn't teach military stuff at all. We don't have ROTC. That would mean money from the government. We would have it probably if they let us do it on our own with our own money. Or if they leave us alone with their money. But they go anyway. And why do they go? It's we get a lot of kids from California, and you probably heard it's cold in Michigan. And we tell them, people who are trying to save the country, don't fret much about the weather. And they don't much. And it's hard at our college. There's a lot of prospective students here, and I just want to tell you what it's like. Half the time, everybody takes the same courses. And they're the most important things. The Declaration of Independence mentions the laws of nature and of nature's God. What do those mean? Can you define them? Because if you come to our college, you'll learn how. You'll be able to give a rich and beautiful explanation of them. And you'll be able to understand why it was that Thomas Jefferson, under taint of treason, and with an entire British army out with a warrant for his arrest, would turn and use those laws as a justification regarded as stronger than any king. You see, that's what we study. And because of that, we love certain things, and we know what they are, and that's why we rally to our country. But the main point I want to make tonight is we're not alone in that. Because it's incredible what's happening at our college. Because it's a little bitty place in the middle of nowhere. And a lot of you probably don't know where it is, but it's in south central Michigan, 20 miles north of the Ohio border. And we started a couple of years ago, three years ago, this Kirby Center that Tom mentioned. And I'll tell you what the experience is there, because it's just amazing. And Tom is an exception to this experience, but it'll teach you something. If you're a congressional staffer, you've almost certainly got a law degree. And if you're a senior staffer, you've got a law degree from a fancy place. And they all know every detail of the Constitution, and they know all of the court cases that have been decided about it. I don't, by the way. I know the main ones, and I used to know all of them pretty well. But they're not important, because I'll tell you what they don't know. They don't know that the Constitution is a beautiful structure, James Madison calls it, which achieves the purposes Tom just mentioned, and I'll add one more. Only a good people, says George Washington in the first inaugural address, can be a free people. And how are you going to get a good people? And the answer is, you set up a structure in which they govern themselves and each other, and they are forced by the structure to think before they act. And it is harder for them to do things that are violations of the natural law and of people's rights than to do things that are. It's harder to do bad things. That's why in 2010, everybody wanted to change the country. And it couldn't be done. It takes another time, and another time after that. And you have to sweat through that. And it takes all of us across a great land. And Madison says, guess what will happen if you set things up like that? People will get used to talking before they act. And by the way, because they have to talk to a lot of people. I made a little announcement about how it's not our purpose to affect the next election. Because retired in August, thank God for it. But he wrote a series of articles. I have argued with him in public about this, in which he says that if the government allocates the right to speak in order to make it more equal the opportunities to speak, that will be a service to the First Amendment. Do you know that the Environmental Protection Agency has SWAT cops? He says, we're interested in force now, you see, of a free people. And one of the acts of force is to disrupt the conversation. Now, when you start saying all that in Washington, D.C. to congressional staffers, they go, wow, really? Where did you get that? It's in the Federalist Papers, you know? That's not an obscure source. That is the source. And you go read it to them, and they go, gosh, you see? And then an amazing thing happens. They come back, and they're busy. In Congress, nobody has any time to think. It's a miracle, by the way, that Tom thinks. He does, though. I think crazy. I once sat in his office here in Sacramento, and he was, you know, a million things going on, people coming in and out, and we're friends, you know. I really like him. And so he sits me down at his desk, and he gives me some stuff to read that he's written. And I read it, and I went, gosh, Tom. He comes back in. I said, this is good. You know, that thing he just gave, he wrote that. It was good. He learned a lot, see? It takes enormous energy to do that. And in Congress, the staffs and the members, by and large, don't use it. Except more and more they do. Something's calling to them. We started a graduate school.